So let's transition into some of the real case studies of SMEs out there today who have successfully innovated. Actually, I don't think I mentioned properly, but our headquarters are based here in Sydney, Australia. So we work heavily with Singapore. Gerald and Real Inbound, the whole team is based in Singapore. So yeah, we both serve, quite the whole APAC region. And an example I want to give today is from a company called Frank, the Frank Food Safety System. His name is James, was the founder. He was 25 years in the food safety industry, first as a chef and then as an auditor. And day in and day out, he would be doing these audits of these huge piles of paper, right? So when he'd sit down for an audit, he'd have 4 stacks of paper this big, and he'd literally have to sit there and flip through them day in and day out. And he just looked around and saw so many other components of, commercial kitchens were slowly being digitized. And he thought, how come this is not being digitized? So he came to us, he approached us, and he had everything written on pieces of paper, and he said, hey, I'd like to build this. And we actually said, well, hold on, James, we propose that instead of, keep your money in your pocket, instead of just building this out, why don't you first build what we call a UI UX prototype? So sort of a clickable visual version of what you were thinking about. So fortunately, he listened to us on that stage, and then he built that out. And then he had this clickable prototype on an iPad. And I remember the day he finished that. I said, okay, great. Now your job is to go speak with potential customers and see if they would be interested in it. And I didn't hear from him for about a month. Yeah. And I thought, maybe he forgot about this thing. Maybe, I'm not sure. Anyway, he gave me a call 30 days later, and he said, Aria, I've taken this prototype to my potential clients, and they didn't say that they liked it. And, I had a bit of a gap, and I was a bit scared for him, to be honest. And he said, they actually said, when can we start using it in our site, right? That they want to be using this instantly. And so James ended up having people already committing to his product before he even wrote one line of code. Yeah. And they were able to see all of the screens of what they were to expect. So they already knew that it was relevant to them in their business.